Where's your game, bro?
Already perched on your motorcycle at the top of a rotary overpass that is still under construction. And the reason you're here is because, like a wolf that can sense water under ice, you just detect and pick up crime the same way like a sparrow operates detecting a magnetic field. You have been plugged into the seedy underworld of your community for several months now.
Okay.
And you finally had your first big tip-off about a coalition, a friendly gang called the Hammer, having a sort of big deal going down that's supposed to shake the foundation of the city that you're in, Greyhop. You're here early by design. The city you're in is an old industrial city just south of what is now Wisconsin. It lacks the flash of like a Kingsdale or a Chi-town. For the most part, it is a pretty grim old industrial city. So you've been waiting here about 20 minutes. According to your clock, the rendezvous with whoever they're meeting is supposed to go down pretty soon.
Okay, I observe my surroundings and tighten the grip on my gloves. And look around, make sure everything is ready. I'll prepare myself. It's time for Nightlite. And I get off my bike. I'm at the edge of the raised, constructed highway. I look for anybody on the streets near where the action is supposed to happen.
You do see a couple people just huddled around old like oil barrels with a fire coming out, little gathering points for people that don't have anywhere else better to be. They're always tucked up to where like the concrete pillars are largest and strongest underneath parts of like the overpass that again are just curling around. And as you're sitting there looking down waiting, you do see headlights far off in the distance at the end of this dirt road.
If my bike is not off, I make sure it's off. And I slide off the bike and kind of creep forward and look over the edge to watch it more closely. Not quite on my belly, but I'm down on one knee now.
Now, down below you is a pretty substantial drop. From the north, though, you do see first a single headlight come around a corner and start to come up, and then another single headlight behind that. And then shortly after, you see two headlights side by side. It looks like two motorcycles coming up, and then another vehicle behind. And as it gets closer and closer, you can see that it is a white van.
Are they slowing down?
Not yet, but they got quite a ways to go before they get to where you are.
I try to remember my contact. What gave me that gave me the tip to hear. Was there any mention of a white van?
Nope, just that the Hammer had a big deal going down.
Well, I'm going to get on my bike. I'm not going to start it up. I want to coast. I want to coast down as quietly as I can, back down so I'm level, on the street level with them.
While you do, you can kind of just glance over to your left periodically and see they're not recklessly driving up the dirt road. The two motorcycle looking lights are kind of lightly, very nimbly, kind of just driving up and bouncing around, little lumps in the road. And the van treading, behind those.
Right now, it sounds as if they're coming this way and I'm coming around from behind, right?
Yeah.
Like this, yeah.
So as you get lower and lower, you can keep glancing over, and they're at various distances now that you pull out. The headlights eventually vanish behind a giant concrete pillar. It's very wide. It's like a wall basically underneath the overpass to help hold it up. And once they go past it, those lights disappear and you don't see them come out on the other side as you hit the ground level, still coasting without the engines on, and are able to.
Yeah, I want to come up to that pillar, so I'm going to go ahead and just coast all the way. I know it's slow.
Right to that pillar?
Yeah.
You do hear the sound of your tires going over the little pebbles and the little gravel as you are coasting through, but there is no engine. It's like that thing, if you're hiding at night, you can kind of hear every breath, but you also hear, as you get a little closer, the engines of vehicles right on the other side of that as you come up maybe about 20 feet away, 30 feet away.
They sound like they're idling, or are they actually?
Sounds like they're idling.
Then I stop and I'll hop off my bike and I'm going to sneak up carefully with my boomerang in my hand and see if I can peek around that pillar to see if I can get a view if I think it might be the Hammers. What kind of nefarious plot these guys are up to.
So you do sneak up very quietly. Your steps on the gravel aren't loud enough to override the idling vehicles on the outside. And because they aren't expecting anybody down there, as you kind of creep along the wall and look around, you see that no one has gotten out of the van, and they just look like they're sitting there waiting for somebody. You do see that the motorcycles are not motorcycles, they're more like dirt bikes. In the flicker of like a oil drum that's just there burning, you can kind of see a hammer on the side of his shoulder.
All right. I can't help myself. I just whisper, "Great Scott, I believe this is a good tip. So therefore, I'm going to activate my night vision, the psionic power I have to see at night." Are their lights still on as they're running their
Yeah,
vehicles?
their headlights and everything are
And
still
are
on.
they facing each other? The
They're
car
kind of
and the van?
facing the road as it goes south. It continues on south.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna wait a moment more. I want to see
As you do wait a moment more, you do hear the two bikers just exchange quick banter, and you hear one of them say, "Of course they're fucking late, pompous assholes." And then the other one just says, just settle down."
Okay, I can hardly contain my excitement. I move closer, I have the boomerang out, and I'm just watching. I'm not going to do anything. I want to see what's happening. The people in the van, can I get a count? Can I see inside the van or the windows?
The windows are tinted.
I'm going to tip my night vision. I'm going to use burn 4 psionic power points. Should last for 20 minutes. And I try to use it. Can I see through the windows with my night vision or
You
not?
can see faint images through the enough to know that there's somebody in the driver's seat, and there is another person in the passenger side seat. As you are mulling over that, you hear somebody say, "Wasn't too bad. See, relax." And then just kind of catches your attention. You see a convoy of headlights coming from the south.
So I've got to move out of here. I'm going to go ahead and try to move to where I can get directly behind them then. And I'm going to attempt to do it, sneak out there. I know it's dangerous. That's all right. That's
As you start to sneak back the other way, you do start to move at a perfect time, because even though the cars are very far away, the faint, distant headlight hits you a little bit, and you could see before long you'd be very easy to see. So you do start to sneak along the other side. And again, when you're trying to be stealthy, it is very easy to be with the idling engines running on all of the vehicles in the background. So you're able to sneak past, and it doesn't sound like you alert anyone. As you get up on this side, now you can see that there is a van, 2 doors facing you, and beyond that, 2 dirt bike riders. You can now see headlights much brighter, bouncing up and down off the terrain that they're parked on, as if, the vehicles are hitting rough dirt roads and the headlights are just kind of bouncing up and down off the ground.
I'm going to attempt to get underneath the van. Kind of want to hear what's going on before I jump the gun. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to stay where I'm at for now. I'm going to see what happens.
You'd see 6 lights, 3 vehicles coming up in a convoy. The one in the front and the one in the back look semi-military, painted black like a Humvee.
Oh boy.
And then the one in the center is luxurious. It's more like a luxury vehicle.
Oh boy.
As they get closer, you can see that on the very corners of the middle car are these little tiny flags, the coalition flag. It's a little tiny black flag with the white skull and symbol on it, and they are just flapping right above the headlights of the center car. The dirt bike riders, right away, they kick down they shut off their dirt bikes, they shut down the headlights. You see that the lights start to go off on the van and the vehicles. Once they come into the clearing that you were once looking down on, they, instead of taking a right to come up to the party, they start to circle around wide left. So it looks like they're going to come around. So they're already going to be ready to leave in the direction that they came. When they do come all the way around and take that last corner, they are going to hit you with the headlights.
That's what I thought. So I'm going to try to just delay it, move to the edge of the van, and just as they come around, I'm going to shuffle under the van. I'm going to do it. That's a smart move. I'm going under the van.
Roll a prowl.
I'm on fire. I crawl under. Ow, my knee. Damn it.
So
oh, that's all right.
As you're watching the cars start to circle around, you're looking at the dirt bike rider, looking at the van, looking at the cars, and all of a sudden you just bolt forward towards the van. As you're running, you realize that the gravel just starts to get much louder for whatever reason than it was prior to that happening when the van is like 5 feet away. You do manage to get down really quick and start to drag yourself under, and you hear a "what the fuck" come from about 10 feet away right after you get out of sight. Now, when he says that, you don't see him, but it doesn't sound like he saw you. It sounded like he heard you.
I stay still, try to keep my eyes in his direction. If I see any feet walking toward me, I'm going to have to do something.
So now, once again, your breath just sounds louder than it is. The vehicles you can hear going around, fortunately, don't see the headlights hit where you are underneath the van. Instead, they stay wide. But you do hear a guy step off of his dirt bike. And then you see a cigarette hit the ground, and he begins to walk behind the van. So you would be face down with your head towards the front of it, looking, and you lose sight of him, but you can hear behind you him just walking around the van.
Okay. I don't move, but if I can, I look up. Can I tell a brake line or a gas line? Is this a combustion engine vehicle? If I can cut it, I'm going to.
You see tubes. You don't see any wiring. You do see tubes and things like that.
I'm going to cut one anyway, just randomly.
One of the tubes.
Fingers crossed.
What are you cutting it with?
I have that dagger, and I also have I have my dagger, and I have a hatchet. But I think I'm going to just go for the dagger. I'm going to try to reach up and grab it. I know I'm in tight, so I just kind of reach up.
You pull it out. It has got a very decorative hilt on it and goes up into this blade. And as you pull it up and stab it up into one of the tubes, as you try and pull it out, instead the dagger gets stuck, and there you see this green flash of energy that blows the size of the van, super vibrant like a storm, and you can tell that it lights up the entire center clearing where you are. And then when it comes back, the van and the dagger are gone.
Whoa! Whoa! And I'm like laying there. What? That's awesome! And I jump up. That is awesome! I say that out loud.
I just rolled a 2 and a 7 on perception. So they're so amazed with the van just vanishing that they haven't noticed.
I crouch up in the most menacing voice. I am the ghost in the darkness. No evil shall escape my sight. And I pull up my boomerang, and I'm going to try to hurl at one of those guys and knock one of those guys out. Cold shot to the head. Come on, baby. 15.
So you pull out your boomerang, which you purchased and modeled after your heroes in comic books.
Right.
And while they're so blown away as they just look at this van that just vanished, their boss, their leader, their driver, everything is immediately gone. They're just standing there and just absolutely perplexed. And in that moment of confusion and disbelief, you rise from the darkness.
Yeah.
As you hit him, he falls off the bike and slumps down like you just killed him.
I turn to the other guy, and I'm going to run and do a jumping. I have martial arts. I'm going to do a side kick. I want to do a flying side kick if I can, and I'm going to kick him right in the chest. And when I hit him, I say, "Stay down if you know what's good for you." Wow, 22.
So as you kick him back, he is also in kind of a state of bewilderment with the van just vanishing like a magic trick. You can also tell that as you rise up and start to attack him, he has this kind of look of terror on his face, like you made the van vanish.
Yes.
As you rise up, kick him right to the side, which sends him stumbling. And as that happens, the convoy just immediately speeds up and starts to drive away the way that it came at a much faster speed than it originally came in on.
Right. I have no way to stop them. Damn it. I jump on his bike. I'm going after him. I want to see if I can get an identifier. Dirt bike.
So he goes stumbling back. He is ready. Like as he manages to get to his feet, he turns around ready for a fight. all he sees is a brake light.
Take it off. I'm gonna catch you.
You're already flying off down towards them in pursuit. The vehicle that you're chasing is this big, hulking, military-looking kind of civilian Humvee, decked out, armored with the latest alloys. And again, there is a more luxurious vehicle that isn't built for the hills and moguls of this dirt road and this construction area at all. It is also, flooring it with some speed.
Is the more luxurious vehicle being protected by the others?
Only on the in the rear and in the back. So there's only those two, but you haven't been, because you so decisively jumped on that bike and took off. They have not ditched you yet. So you can gun it, and you are on a dirt bike, which is better, prepared for this sort of terrain than these vehicles, especially the more luxurious ones. So
I'm moving up to try to flank. Get to the one at the back. So there's one at the back. Can I get around? I'll roll. Do I need to roll that to make that maneuver?
Yeah. So sorry. What are you doing again?
I want to gun past the rear Humvee that's in the back.
Yep.
And I want to go to the side where I can get to the luxury car, because I think that's where the big boss is. I'm going to yank his butt out.
All right.
I'm going to try to. So I'm going to go up there with a motorcycle. Should I roll my motorcycle skill?
Yes.
Okay. See if I can get past him.
That one.
79. This is not like my bike.
As this dirt bike, you start to peel around, and you are able to handle all of the bumps and all of the moguls. And the guy in the rear vehicle doesn't even seem to notice you. He's literally just trying not to crash into the luxury vehicle in front of him, while also trying to navigate the bumps and things like that. Right. So as you do pull up on the side of the vehicle, though, it is pushing the pace pretty fast. Again, you can see the little black flags flapping now pretty hard from the tips of the front fenders. And right as you come up on the side of them with your night vision psionic power still activated, you see one of the tinted windows start to come down. And as you do, inside you see clearly a coalition soldier, the helmet, you see the full thing.
Body armor?
And beyond that, you see a face with the coalition officer suit on. You can't read how many medals and things are on his chest, but it looks like he is a guy of some importance and rank. But as you see his face, right away, you just get this flash of the wilderness scout that you were with the Legion of Myth. And it is brief. It is super fast as you look at that face, and then all of a sudden it's gone. But as that happens and it's gone, you see that the coalition soldier is pulling out a pistol and his hand is coming out the window.
Evasive maneuvers if I can. I'm going to attempt to dodge, but I'm going to try to move up. If I'm going to dodge it, well, I guess I got to try to dodge. I do realize I'm outgunned here. My plan, I'm going to keep going, stay low, and I'm watching him. If I can manage to dodge the first shot at all, I'm going for one of those flags. I'm going to try to snatch it off the car and take off. Okay. Oh, yes, sir. 17.
You see this window coming down, and as you're driving, you see the flags. You see the first coalition soldier. It's enough to register the information in your brain, and then right afterwards, you get that flash of the wilderness scout that you were traveling with as you see the officer sitting on the other side of that. As the pistol comes out, you're able to gun it forward towards the car. And as you're gunning it forward and looking over, you also see the windows. Something started to come out of the window of one of the rear.
I'm going to try to grab that flag off there. If I can get it, I'm getting that, and I'm getting the hell out of Dodge.
Make a skill roll.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Daddy needs a black flag. 78, failed. 78, I failed again.
As you go over, you can sense now impending danger everywhere, and you know you have to be quick. As you go forward, you don't realize that it's about to get a lot bumpier than where it is. And as you're reaching over, beat a 16.
Come on. 14, so close.
You reach out to grab it, and you feel it in your hand, but as you go to yank it, you feel it doesn't give from the car. And as it does, the dirt bike hits a really nasty mogul, and the bike comes out right out from under you up into like this wheelie into nowhere, elevated above the ground. You are airborne now with the bike kind of going up in the air.
I'm going to try to roll with this fall. I'm in trouble, so I'm going to try a little.
I'm going to say beat it. I'm going to say beat an 18.
Natural 20.
As the thing starts to go out, you lose the bike, but you manage to go into a really tight, sleek sort of combat roll. And as that happens, 2. You see one laser kind of strike the dirt next to you, blowing off a chunk of earth, but the convoy does not slow down for you. They continue to speed off. And as your tight combat roll starts to slow down into more of a sloppy momentum type thing, you see the convoy, the brake lights all just speed away and continue on.
Yeah, I'm outclassed with that. But there will be another day.